Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, today's going to be a quick video. You know, what's happening is going to be a follow-up video to an ongoing dispute we've been keeping track of for a while now. The dispute between the government in Mali and Barrick Gold, the multinational gold mining company, one of the largest gold mining corporations on the planet. Now, as you already know, the government and the company have been locked in a tax dispute to the tune of $500 million, right? Barrick Gold owes $500 million in taxes, and they refuse to pay their taxes. So as a result, an arrest warrant was put out for the CEO. Multiple tons of gold was seized from the company. And now the government is trying to take over the gold mining complex in totality altogether. And of course, the company is pushing back against that. They're trying their hardest to maintain control over the asset. Now, today we have some, recent developments taking place. And of course, I had to come out from vacation to tap in and talk about the recent news. Now, one headline that I seen was that Barrick, the company, as you can see, take a look up on the screen, has removed its Mali gold complex from its overall output forecast for the year 2025. Now, to me, that's significant because it signifies to me that mentally, they're already, mentally preparing themselves to basically lose control over the asset. So they're not even factoring in the numbers and the output over the Mali gold mines, right? They're not even taking into account when it comes to the end of the year, calculations. They're already mentally, preparing themselves for, I guess, the worst case scenario. Now, take a look up on the screen, right? So a court in Mali actually ruled in favor of the government. And as you can see by the headline, Barrick Mining's gold complex placed under state control in Mali. Canada's Barrick Mining had its Loulo-Gounkoto gold complex in Mali placed under state control by court on Monday in a major escalation of a dispute over taxes and ownership. A former Malian health minister, Soumana Makaji, will take over as provisional administrator for 6 months, the presiding judge said. Barrick said that it will appeal the decision. The move follows actions by the Malian government to block gold exports and seize gold stocks held by Barrick subsidiaries. The ruling is a blow to Barrick, which had said that it could not restart work at Loulo-Gounkoto until the government allowed it to export its gold. The mine in the west of the country was Barrick's second most productive gold asset last year, right? So, like I said, this company, one of the largest gold mining companies on the planet, and this is one of the most productive and most prized assets that they're on the verge of losing. And to me, if it was really your most productive and your most prized asset, then the least you could have done was pay your taxes. I mean, goddamn, that's the least you could have done was pay your taxes, because I'm sure you made more money in profits than was owed in taxes. But still, the greed of man is insatiable, right? So in an effort to, scrape off a few dollars off the top, you might end up losing all the profit altogether. Now, anyway, let's continue. Barrick said that after the ruling that while its subsidiaries remain the legal owners of Loulo-Gounkoto, operational control now lay with the court-appointed administrators. The company described Mali's move to block its exports and seize gold stocks, which precipitated the closing of the mine, as unjustified. Now, like I said, this is the delusion of the adversary, right? Guilty of running it off without paying $500 million in taxes, right? Not $5,000 in taxes, not $50,000, $500 million in unpaid taxes. And then to have the nerve to not even pay off the debt, but then claim that once action is taken against you for the crimes that you committed, now you are claiming that you are being targeted and these moves are unjustified. The delusion of the adversary knows no bounds. Now let's continue. The company went on to say, these developments occurred despite Barrick's ongoing efforts to reach a constructive and sustainable resolution. While the company has made a number of good faith concessions in the spirit of partnership, it cannot accept terms that would compromise the legal integrity or the long-term viability of the operations. Now, to me, watching Barrick Gold, watching the company scramble and squirm like a fish out of water over the past several months really showed to me that the propaganda that they've been selling, and not only Barrick Gold, but the multinationals, the Western governments in general, the propaganda they sell to us is that all their actions are done out of a motivation to do charity, right? We are doing this for charity, for morality, for the greater good of humanity. But you notice that once we decide to, take back control over the assets, now all of a sudden it's not about charity anymore. Now you want to run to the international courts. Now you want to run to the World Bank. Now you want to appeal the decision. But I thought you were doing charity out of the goodness of your own heart. So if the good people of Mali want to take back the gold mine, then, because you were doing charity, don't worry about the gold mine, brother. Don't worry about that. That's charity, right? That's charity. But anyway, let's continue. Now, this is a press release that's coming from the company's website. As you can see, Barrick holding firm through ICSID arbitration and the Mali court ruling. Barrick Mining Corporation confirms that the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes arbitration process initiated under the binding mining convention between Barrick subsidiaries and the state of Mali is fully underway. The arbitration tribunal has been constituted, and Barrick has submitted a request for provisional measures to prevent further escalation and to safeguard its rights under binding mining conventions with the state of Mali. The arbitration tribunal's consideration of the case is even more important in the light of today's decision by the Bamako Commercial Tribunal to place the Lulogunkado complex under temporary provisional administration at the request of the Malian government. For nearly 3 decades, Barrick has been a committed partner to Mali, supporting economic development in local communities. That commitment remains, but so does Barrick's responsibility to uphold the rights of its employees, protect shareholder value, and defend the legal framework under which it operates. Oh, okay. See, now they dropping the mask, right? At first it was, we're doing charity. We're doing charity for the local African communities. We're supporting African economic development. Now their back is against the wall. Now they're talking about the shareholder value. Now we're talking about the rights of our employees and the legal frameworks. Okay, so now we're talking about the real deal, right? Now we're talking about what you are really here for, right? To protect your shareholder value for your economic interest, not because you want to do charity for the local communities. That's never the reason why anybody invests. Nobody invests to do charity for local communities. Everybody invests to increase shareholder value. That's all it's about. That's all it's been about. But you've been selling us this false propaganda about charity and morality and all this nonsense. But as you can see, the truth is now coming out and the mask is now falling off. Anyways, I want to get into this other headline. Take a look up on the screen. Barrick Mining formalizes efforts to find a successor to the CEO, Mark Bristow. Right now, if you remember, when Mali was locked in a dispute with another multinational gold mining company by the name of Resolute Mining, and they had actually arrested the CEO, right? And after the CEO received his liberation after paying over $100 million in back taxes, he ended up quitting the company altogether, right? If you remember that one, take a look up on the screen. The Resolute Mining CEO quits following detention in Mali. Now, Barrick is now trying to find a replacement for the current CEO, Mark Bristow, who, don't forget, still has an arrest warrant out for his arrest due to unpaid taxes and back taxes, right? So now the company is trying to separate themselves from Mark Bristow and trying to find a replacement to the current CEO. So that would be 2 CEOs that ended up, getting the boot out of their company due to going toe to toe against the AES. Now, even though the government has placed the gold mining complex under temporary state control, the fight is not over, right? The dispute is not over because obviously Barrick says that they plan to fight back, right? Now, these are the same ones that said they were doing charity, right? The ones that said we were doing it for charity and morality. Now they fighting back. They're fighting for their right to do charity, right? As you can see, Barrick will appeal the Lulogunkado administrator appointment, right? They're going to fight back against the government taking back control over the asset. But I thought they were doing charity. That's hilarious. But anyways, man, I'm not going to be here too long, man. I just wanted to tap in on that one. Your boy is still on vacation, but I just had to come in and make a video on that one. So, of course, I'm going to stay up to date with the developments. Shout out to y'all, man. Anyway, it's your boy Neferkari. That's Lane back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the channel. Support the album. Support the Patreon. And I'm gone. Peace.
Took all my losses and now I got racks. Took all my losses and made that shit back. Plan to make gold, I need plenty of plaques. Making my enemies empty the stash. Feel like a me, I feel like Chiani. African gold is all over my body. African diamonds adorning my fingers. African kid when you look at my features. Enemy watching, I gotta get paid. Enemy watching and stalking my page. Watching my moves and they study my ways. Copy my energy, riding my wave. Enemy watching me like an obsession. Heart of a king, I don't need no acceptance. No, they gon' try but can't stop the progression. No, they gon' try but can't stop the the ascension. Foot on the gas and I gotta go hard. Straight to the top, I've been down for too long. Plotting revenge, I'ma make them regret it. Ain't no more talking, I got too much leverage. Talking uranium, diamonds and gold. Keep that shit real, I wish death on my foes. Keep that shit real, I ain't blocking my blessings. Stacking my profit and then I invest it. Feeling untouchable, energy sacred. When I pull up, know my enemies hate. Setting up shop at a secret location. Chopper gon' sound like a standing ovation. Moving in silence, I never been regular. One of a kind, I ain't got no competitors. Son of a king, I'm the kingdom inheritor. Do what I want, I don't care what you telling us. State of myself, me and my team. Walk in the spot, but they knowin' my name. Beautiful passenger, bet she gon' ride. Keep it authentic, I'm never gon' change. Always been solid, I'm built to survive. Gotta stay focused, I'm deep in the game.